Hello humans of the internet. I mean,
Literally nobody says that.
I do not want to sound disrespectful or ungrateful, but there is this gynecology professor who talks to people on YouTube, who teaches people on YouTube. And the way he addresses his students is in this apparently cool way, which I have picked up, and it is so annoying, but I'm not going to use it ever again. So now, with that not so needed attempt to be funny at the beginning of this video, let us literally begin. Yes, as I sit at 6 AM in the morning to make a video, I have to post today itself, and not because I'm a very busy person and couldn't have done it before, but because I'm sinking more and more in the ocean of procrastination because it has been a while that I have had to do anything immediate and urgent to do. I'm on an official leave from my hospital, and while that's a good thing, but nothing really exciting anymore, as the world with this pandemic has become depressing AF. And no matter what we blame it on, the presence of work or lack thereof, we are living daily with the fear of catching an infection, which inherently isn't as deadly as it is made due to the lack of a decent healthcare system and administration around the world. But anyway, so I'm at home till 15th of May, and I better not complain, so let's just move on. And if in case by the end of this video you do not realize why I made it, I don't know this myself. So let's just do the thing right. Let's just do it. I promised a weekly video. Here it is. What else do you want from me? Now let's talk about quarantining and my personal experience with it. So in my last video, I mentioned that I was in quarantine for a week. This is not now. This was like before. I guess 1 week ago, I was in quarantine for a week because I'll tell you how it started. So I developed a sore throat, which is not really a classic symptom, and I took montelukast and levocetirizine, and usually they do have an effect, but they did not really have any effect in like 3-4 days. So I also developed like a running nose. I did not have any fever or cough, so I went to the screening center just to be sure, and they just gave me the same medicines for 5 days, and after 5 days they asked me to review if the symptoms are not relieved. So 5 days later, my symptoms worsened. I had dry cough, I had slight fever, like 1 or 2 episodes of fever, breathlessness, like the classic symptom, and the sore throat was not improving, nor was the running nose. It had gotten all worse. So yes, I was a suspect. I was a COVID suspect. As scary as it may sound, but that's what happened. So yes, I was in quarantine after that because obviously with these 5 symptoms, I went to the screening center, the COVID-19 screening center, and this time they finally screened me. They also gave me a few antibiotics, so my picture looked more like a bacterial infection, but obviously it could have been super added on the COVID-19 infection. So yes, I was a strong suspect. I was sent to quarantine. I was on duty that day, and I was sent into home quarantine the very day. The next 5 days were full of anticipation and fear because I did not know what report was going to come, and already, like I said, 8 interns had been positive. So yes, that scared the shit out of me. But then the 5th day, रात को 9 बजे, I call up the screening center because वो सुबह से तो नहीं उठा रहे थे, and I finally talk to them, and they tell me कि I am negative and I do not have the infection, and I was like, great, wow. Next day when I go, I have my emergency. Not next day, I guess the 3rd day after that, I have my emergency, and I treat this patient who later comes up to be a COVID suspect. And I'm back to square one because I am now exposed to a COVID suspect, which also makes me a suspect. Can I still be positive? Yes. Am I also a suspect? Also yes. Did I get myself screened? No, majorly because in our hospital the infection has spread, and there is community transmission within a little community. And yes, till the time people are not symptomatic, they really aren't testing because we're under-resourced. That's not just our facility, that's like almost all hospitals with a COVID testing facility. So yeah, it is going a little crazy. I'm not complaining, you are. So again, let me say it so that some people are still not in quarantine and not staying at home, so get this in their head. Community transmission has started, my friend. It has. take care, stay home. So yes, if I have not mentioned this enough before, 8 interns in my hospital were positive, are positive. One of them has recovered, yay! And surprisingly, the most disturbing part about this to me is not just that people are positive. The most disturbing part out of all of this is that yesterday I met somebody another intern, and we were just talking about the situation, as in how we are so much at risk, and how our college was giving all the interns like a break for 7 days, so that the cycle might break for some people at some point of time. And all that I got from that conversation from her was that how she was happy that she was getting an off, because it was basically a relaxing time for her and not something which she saw as seriously as it should be seen. I mean, being doctors and being interns, all she could think about is how she was getting more time to prepare for a NEET PG or MLE, whatever she's going to give. And that just effed up my mind. I mean, what is with the pressure of studying at a medical college? I do not get it. I mean, okay, I get it. Honestly, I get it. It's a lot to do. There's hardly ever enough time, if I may say so. But then, this is a pandemic that we are living in, and at this point of time, how can you even take something like this and think of a holiday? Think of an off as a holiday. It's just annoying, and that just took me back to like my first year of college, where from the first day itself, everybody was just tensed and just had their fists clenched and just wanted to do so much, and everybody thought that they were lesser than somebody else, even though they were doing like amazing. And also I guess 2-3 days back I got this email from this one person who emailed me from my website, and he said that he was a first year medical student, and he felt a lot of pressure, a lot of anxiety, because he was trying so hard, but even then there was some part of the syllabus, some part of the exam which he could not put his attention to. And then he was like, how he felt depressed about not being up to the mark and up to the level of his other classmates. So all of that, and I wanted to reply to that, but then it was so difficult for me to even admit that at one point of time I have faced it like anything, like the feeling of not feeling good enough, the feeling of that surprise which gets thrown at you, that in the school you were like the top cream students in terms of marks, obviously, and as you transition to college, getting a 50% also is so difficult. And the fact that nobody tells you that it's okay. I mean, they do tell you, but in a very mocking way, and in a way that you also will not take their talk seriously. And it's just annoying AF. It is so ridiculous, and also at the same time so unavoidable, that you have that pressure. And I guess everybody has it at one point of time in medical school. That's just how our system is, which sucks, but that's true. But yes, I did not reply to that email because I was just so, even I could not accept the truth that yes man, even I went through the same, I still go through the same. Like when I see my interns studying while on our rotation, while we're on duty, I can't do that kind of stuff, but still people are doing it. So I just as much as I want to tell you that you have to do it your way, that you just have to stay calm, ignore the and just enjoy your silence. It is difficult, but then at the end of the day we just have to try. That's all we gotta do. We just got to try and stop comparing ourselves with anybody else, because you don't know, that person might be comparing herself or himself to you, if that makes sense. By the way, talking about classes and batch and students, I hope you've heard about the boys' locker room case that happened recently, and how things turned out to be in the end of it. Now, why is it that something like assault can just be used anywhere and everywhere without even considering the consequences? And the fact that we have like the most number of assault cases, why is still there no open conversation between not just boys or just girls, all people, all genders, however you identify yourself as? Why is this not talked about more often? Why are we still so koi sun lega sort of situation? Why is it that when it comes to our films or our movies portraying women as some objects there for the male eyes to pleasure, that's fine, and that does not get censored, but movies about the truth about the drug abuse that's present, the assault, they are just censored off as highly controversial. Why is it that we have item songs with like women being the center of attraction to like hundreds of men and not vice versa? And I'm not talking about wearing short clothes or whatever, that's individuality. Why is it that schools do not teach about all this stuff while other things like geometry and trigonometry are important, which to be honest I've never used in my day-to-day life ever? But okay, I get it. There is also a silver lining to this, which is that some people have started to talk, some people have started looking things in the broader perspective. Some people have started opening up their minds to all this information that's coming in and deciding what is good or bad, or what is right or wrong, which is good. But there's also one thing that really that I read, that for every mistake that one woman makes, the whole of the feminist society has to face all the eyes and all the criticism. But we have been living with patriarchy since years, and even then people don't seem to have a problem with it. Why? Boy, am I a rebellion today. And obviously one more inherent problem with the whole thing that happened was the misuse of social media, and how it was so evident, and it is so evident in these times anyway, because look at the misinformation we have around the whole pandemic. Like the fact that have ginger and it'll be gone, that hot temperature and the summers are coming and it'll have like this huge effect. No, I'm sorry, I am sweating every day and the cases are not decreasing even a bit, rather they're increasing. So that's all. Why is it that even educated people, even people who know that it is so easy to just put something out there on social media, like I mean right now I could just go out there and put it on Instagram that having grass like a horse could heal coronavirus, and there will still be people who believe it. How dumb are they? I mean, seriously, what is our problem with authentic information? Why can we not believe on what the WHO says, what the ICMR says, what the Ministry of Health and Family Welfare says? Do you think they're dumb? Do we think they are dumb? No, they're not. They're working day and night to get the information. And I get it that, what information about the pandemic would be true right now might not be true like 2 days later, because we are still in the research phase. We still do not know the whole, spectrum of disease transmission and how, the pathogenicity of the disease is. But whatever is the correct information today is not available on Instagram or WhatsApp University. It is available on websites of ICMR, WHO, CDC and Ministry of Health and Family Welfare. I will also on that note leave links of all these websites down there here in the description box. Please go and check them out. These websites are being updated more often than not, and I'm sure you will find whatever you want there. There are also helplines. I will put the numbers down below as well. Whatever is the information, get it verified first. Just know what source it is coming from. Just don't believe anything just because it is coming from somebody who's a sensible person. That does not make sense. Even they might have gotten something from somebody who's a sensible person, and so, but it might have started from somebody like me telling people on Instagram that watching 5 episodes of Friends per day makes you healthier and makes you less prone to coronavirus. Bullshit. And last on my propaganda today is thanking all the people who are involved in this pandemic and controlling it. The police wallahs, the drivers, the safai karamcharis, the grocery store owners, their workers, the delivery boys, healthcare workers, and all the people who are working legit day and night, risking their lives literally right now, and doing the best they can, and obviously the government, for actually going on with the lockdown, because we so needed it. It was such an essential step to have this lockdown for however long as we need it. So I know it is a depressing time. I know that boredom is setting in, but this is not what the pandemic is about. The pandemic is not going to see whether you got bored or not and just go away. It will still take lives till the time we do not have like a solid treatment to it. Like we don't know how to prevent it other than just social distancing, which is, by the way, the only way of preventing it right now, not the ginger tea. And now it's getting hot and I need to edit this video, and I really don't have much on my mind today, so I will see you with another video next week. Till then, stay at home, stay safe, do not believe on any BS information, and thank you so much for watching. Bye bye.